Hi, Jacob.
Good afternoon, everybody. I can see some of you having your lunch there and some of you having your tea. Be prepared for some practical work today. We've got a great lunch and learn. I say that every time, but this is really going to be a special lunch and learn today. I'm joined by my friend, my colleague, one of my Tai Chi and Qigong mentors, Larry Cammarata, who is going to be giving us a taste of Tai Chi this lunchtime. He'll be giving us some guided practice, but he's also going to be explaining a little bit of the theory, understanding a bit about what Tai Chi is all about. We will have time for questions as we work through. Larry will open it up to questions. And as I say, there will be some practice. It's pouring rain here, so you might be able to hear the rain on my roof. So without further ado, I will hand you over to Larry. Larry, thank you very much for joining.
Thank you. My pleasure, and welcome everyone. It's really good to be here. First of all, Gray is a friend. We've collaborated together in the past, and we finally share the same time zone. That is to say, my wife and I moved from the United States to Portugal in late April. And so now Gray and I can collaborate in the same time zone, which is sort of nice and help us to feel more connected right now. And so a little bit about my background. I'm a clinical psychologist. I've been a licensed psychologist for almost 40 years, holding licenses in California and North Carolina in the United States. And about 32 or 33 years ago, I took my first Tai Chi class, and I absolutely fell in love with how the practice of Tai Chi really made me feel, what it cultivated within my mind and body. And so for about the past 30 years, I've been teaching Tai Chi in my spare time. It's really become quite a passion of mine. And I love sharing the practice as well as some of the science aspects of Tai Chi. And so for today, what I'd like to start out with is, rather than movement, to provide somewhat of an intellectual, cognitive understanding of Tai Chi first, before we transition to movement. And perhaps that can be well-timed with your lunch. You know, I see people eating, and so that's really good. And if you're having, of course, Indian tea, you will have chai tea with your Tai Chi, and that can be very interesting as well. So at any rate, I'd like to share with you a screen on a presentation I've created for you all on Tai Chi, a taste of Tai Chi, and tell you a little bit about Tai Chi. First of all, one way of thinking about what we call Tai Chi, and we'll be moving, by the way, in about 20 minutes, we will be moving our bodies. Tai Chi is an ancient Chinese system of exercise, meditative movement, and indeed self-defense. I think of Tai Chi as a form of Chinese Kung Fu. We can talk about that a little bit later. In its earliest incarnation, if you will, it was a pure martial art. And in some respects, it evolved to include more exercise and health maintenance for the people, but it still has its exercise, its self-defense Kung Fu roots. And so here's an extremely brief history. There are some legends about how did Tai Chi begin, and one legend, which may contain some truth, there is a famous Taoist priest in the 15th century by the name of Zhang Sanfeng, and he was some sort of superhuman who had this very powerful presence and ability to move people with his own body and energy. And some people attribute the origins of Tai Chi to him. Coming to more modern times now, and this has been historically validated in Chenjiagao, which essentially translates into Chen village. one of the Chen family members. Chen is a surname, a last name, Chen Wangting. He's been historically referenced to be the first person to create and practice Tai Chi, which is also called Taijiquan, and I'll tell you what that means in a moment. So his was the first family style. So in understanding more modern iterations of Tai Chi, various families began to have their own brand, if you will, of Tai Chi. So Chen style, Chen, was the first family to systematize Tai Chi in a way that pertained to a family system. From the Chen style, the Chen family taught the Yang family, Y-A-N-G, not Yang as in yin versus yang, but Yang as in a surname like Smith or Jones. Yang style Tai Chi is the most popular style of Tai Chi practiced in the world today. It's associated with those soft, slow, flowing movements that you often tend to associate with Tai Chi. However, there are some other styles of Tai Chi, like, for example, the Chen style that is very fast, explosive, and sometimes might be indistinguishable from what we think of as being Kung Fu. Can be very, very fast. And then from the Yang style, developed the Wu Hao, the Wu, and the Sun style. These are all family names. And then lastly, in contemporary times, yes, indeed, there is such a thing as Tai Chi competitions. And so there have been some contemporary forms of Tai Chi that use standardized movements so that the demonstrator can be evaluated. And indeed, I've evaluated Tai Chi performances. And I will say, although, of course, there is a competitive aspect to these competitions, as they are called, there is also a great cooperation and coming together of community. And I think, one way to view these sorts of competitions, as it were, is to bring people together and share knowledge and support one another. And for the most part, that's what I've seen in some of these competitions that I've judged at. So let's move along here and want to address a few popular questions. First of all, what does this word Taijiquan mean? Because if you go to China, and if you work with a Chinese Tai Chi master, they're likely not to say Tai Chi, they're likely to say, let's play. They use the word play, let's play Taijiquan. Well, Taiji, notice how it's spelled, T-A-I-J-I. That does not refer to energy like we say qi. Some of you are familiar with the idea of qi, energy. Well, Taiji refers to the Chinese ancient philosophy of the harmony and complementarity of yin, dark, and yang, energies, light. I could say so much about this yin and yang, but we can say, heavy is yin, light is yang, yin is the earth, solid, and yang is the sky, spacious and ascending. So Tai Chi and Taijiquan refers to the yin-yang dynamic. Chuan simply means fist. Chuan means fist. So we could say in a shorthanded way, Taijiquan means Tai Chi fist, often transliterated as grand ultimate fist. Or if you're like me and you dig into the semantics, this is what I came up with after a lot of research and playing with all of these Chinese words. Taijiquan is the boxing system that is based upon the harmonious and complementary union of yin and yang. So we could see it like that. The Tai Chi player who uses Tai Chi, Taijiquan, as a martial art, incorporates the heavy and the light in their martial art performance. And that kind of leads us to the last question, if it's a martial art, why is it practiced so slowly? And what I tell my students is that if you're looking to learn Tai Chi as a martial art, we use this sort of popular rule or convention that you must practice diligently and deeply for 8 years before you use Tai Chi as a martial art for 2 primary reasons. One is in practicing for 8 years slowly, that is, you develop sensitivity to your own body and internal connections to your own body parts, especially your joints, so that when you move fast, you don't hurt yourself. And then secondly, your martial art, Kung Fu, as it were, would be more effective when you practice in a very slow way so that you know every nuance of the movement and why you move the way you do and how it can be used in a martial arts self-defense context. I fully realize most people don't practice Tai Chi these days for the martial arts aspect, and I appreciate, of course, also the health and wellness aspects, and I'll be getting into that in a moment. I will say this, as I've observed, Tai Chi, which many people don't realize, is one of the fastest martial arts you could witness. And why is that? When it's applied in a martial arts way, it's because the relaxation of the martial artist's body is such that tension does not impede speed or velocity. So the Tai Chi martial artist is actually able to move in a, quote, lightning-like way. Some of you, moving on to that second question there on the list, some of you may be familiar with Qigong. The word Qigong means energy cultivation or energy mastery. And how is Tai Chi different than Qigong is a question that I often receive. First of all, Qigong is a system of energy medicine that's used for cultivating health and wellness. It's used for spiritual development all the way to enlightenment. And it's also used for strengthening the body and mind of the martial artist. Tai Chi, on the other hand, is a martial art at its foundation. However, like Qigong, when it's practiced in a slow and meditative way, yes, it does move the energy of the body. It does harmonize the emotions and has many of the same benefits as Qigong. So in a short-handed way, I realize we can't just condense down these very complex arts in a few words. We can think of Qigong as meditative movement for health and healing. We can think of Tai Chi as a martial art at its root, but indeed also a meditative movement when it's practiced slowly and in a mindful way. So many of the same benefits. And then some of the research findings, this is from academic scholarly research. We find enhanced cardiopulmonary fitness, certainly quality of life, a reduction of anxiety, depression, and blood pressure. This next research finding I'm rather fond of because I do teach balance. I know Gray does too. We find improved bone health and bone density and balance and fall prevention, particularly as we age. This is very, very important. And just in a quick sort of way, improved bone density to me makes great sense because when we are standing on one leg, as we sometimes do, not all the time, of course, as we stand on one leg, all of our body weight is on one leg, of course, and that will over time help with bone density, strengthening the legs, strengthening the joints as well. We see decreased cortisol levels, the stress hormone, enhanced immune system functioning. And there was some really interesting research I reviewed a while ago applied to animals, so this wasn't taken from human research, showing that repetitive movements activate serotonergic activity. Some of you may know serotonin in the brain is the same neurochemical that is targeted by certain pharmaceutical drugs like Prozac. So I like to sometimes tell my students that we think that practices like Tai Chi and Qigong, also meditation, and so many other things we do with great attention and intention, can activate the brain chemistry in the direction of being calm, which I think much of the world is probably needing right now. So other research findings, back to balance training, that not only improve balance that we can see in an external way, but also the brain is being connected up in a way that supports balance. And then, of course, slow, deep breathing that we use in Tai Chi can be an antidote to the hyperarousal we see in states of stress. I found some fascinating research from a Stanford neuroscientist by the name of Andrew Huberman. Some of you might be familiar with him. He says that panoramic vision, that is this open, spacious vision, also helps us to decrease our stress, decrease arousal. So I like to think that this kind of panoramic, spacious vision is a great complement to the deep breathing we can engage in to down-regulate our stress. And this is something we can do whether or not we're involved with Tai Chi. We can be walking about our flat, our home, breathing in a slow, deep way, and opening up the eyes so that we're not so narrowly focused, which can create a little bit of the stress response. And then my own anecdotal evidence at the bottom there has to do with, I've seen increased knee and leg strength over time with Tai Chi. As a young person in my 20s, I would sometimes wear a knee brace. I don't know, maybe I was running incorrectly, probably that was the case. And now I'm in my mid 60s and I don't wear a knee brace. My knees are perfectly fine. I'm grateful for that. And Tai Chi, when it's done properly, can actually strengthen the knee joints and other joints. And of course, it enhances body awareness, creates deep muscular relaxation. I mentioned improved balance, and posture, of course. And I like to think that it integrates a certain sense of joy and movement. I often tell my students, let's move with joy. You know, why not bring joy into the body? And so some of the key principles of the movement are to maintain an upright, aligned posture, sink the shoulders down. In fact, right now, if you find your shoulders up, just sink the shoulders, drop the elbows. That's a common place where we hold tension. We relax the waist, pelvic girdle, create a sense of softness so that we can move from our body's center. And we coordinate the upper and lower parts of the body. And we try to find a sense of tranquility or stillness in the movement. And that really acknowledges the meditative aspect of Tai Chi movement. So I've said a lot of words. We're going to translate or transition into movement in just a short moment. However, if you have any questions about anything I've said, I invite you to unmute yourself and we could take just a few minutes to address any questions at this point. So it's up to you if you have anything you'd like to add there. I'm going to stop the screen sharing. Okay. I see we have someone in the chat. Okay, that's something else. Very good. All right, friends. So what I'm going Okay, very good, very good. Okay, so if there's no questions, what I'm going to do is change the perspective on my camera, and we are going to move into some Tai Chi movement practice, okay? Okay. And so if you are seated, the invitation, of course, is to stand up when you're ready, when you're ready. And just to get into the body a bit, let's do some light shaking. With shaking, I like to say, maintain some looseness within your joints. We want to be loose, and yet at the same time, we want to have structure. We want to be upright. Some light shaking is a good way to shake off stress, And I also like to say, maintain a smile on your face if you wish. It's always optional. We bring in the energy of joy that way. And then flicking your arms downward as if to release anything that's stuck from your body, mind. It might be a thought, it might be an emotion, it might be just physical tension. And one more. And then standing upright like a stable mountain, as if there's a string attached to the crown point of your head, gently uplifting your spine. Allow your belly to be soft and relaxed. Tongue is at the roof of your mouth, touching your upper palate. Let's do some gentle Qigong movements before we transition. Breathing in, breathing out. Using just enough energy to move your arms. Relax the shoulders as you lift your arms up, breathing in. Breathing out. And again, breathing in. Breathing out. All right. So I'd like to introduce you to one movement of Tai Chi, and I've compiled, by the way, a 9-movement form for you that's quite relatively easy. But I want to focus on the first movement, which can help us all to integrate some of these principles of Tai Chi. First of all, we're standing with our feet shoulder width apart. Our spine is upright. We're not militaristic with a chest that's puffed up. There's a sense of being rounded. Even my arms have a little bit of roundedness to them. So I want to be relaxed here. And now follow me, breathing in, lifting arms up as if they're floating up with minimal effort. And then bending the elbows and the knees at the same time, lowering your body and your arms at the same time, but not too low with the knees. About right here is fine. Soft belly. Now let's stand upright again. And we begin again. Breathing in, lifting arms gently, keeping the shoulders down. Now bending elbows and knees. Breathing out. Let's do that one more time. Breathing in, relaxing even the hands and your fingers. Breathing out, lowering the arms. So now I'm going to give you an image to work with, and the image is that of a silk thread. So imagine you had this silk thread on both of your wrists, And if you make a jerky movement, the thread would be broken. So our intention is to maintain the intactness of the silk thread as we move, like silk. One more time. Breathing in. Breathing out. Beautiful. So I mentioned the martial art aspect, and this gentle opening move actually has a martial arts application. Someone is coming to choke you and you block them. That's about pull them down perhaps, but we're not getting into that right now. We don't have 8 years for this presentation. And so I want to introduce you to another movement. You can just mirror my movement. So here we are, like so. This is called wave hands, like clouds. Now notice I'm turning from the center of my body here. And again, the shoulders are down as we turn. As we turn softly. Switching up and down arms, turning. Switching up and down arms, turning. You can just mirror me. What you see on the screen, just mirror. Relax the lower back and the waist area. And then come to center. Next, we're going to do a movement that requires balance. So with balance, I always ask my students to be patient and explore with the spirit of play, okay? You don't have to look like your teacher or anybody else. Just be connected to your own body. So with balance, a great point here that I've learned over the years and appreciate is simply uprightness of the body. That's a very important point, of course, so that we can make some good contact beneath our feet. Relaxation of the body, so any tension just falls downward and supports our balance. And of course, paying attention is very important with balance. So right now, follow me with this movement like so, lifting one leg up, placing that leg down, lifting the other leg up with the arm positioned like so. You don't have to go so high. It's fine to just move your leg up an inch if that's what works for you. Everybody's different and it's all good. So at your own pace, lifting same side leg and arm up like so, placing it down, lifting same side arm and leg up, placing it down, paying attention, relaxing, enjoying this as an act of play. And there, come down, maybe shake your legs out. And now we move to a Tai Chi kick. We're going to cross our arms, lift up one leg, doesn't have to be so high, and then we're going to kick out and open our arms as we kick out. I realize this is a little challenge, this can be challenging. So stay upright rather than don't lean back. Stay upright. You don't have to kick so high. You can kick like this. Or you can kick higher, that's fine, but it shouldn't create excess tension. If you have trouble with your balance, it's fine to just stay on the floor with your heel, for example. That would be a modification with someone who's learning more balance, cultivating more balance. Otherwise, if you have the strength, you can lift and kick, but stay soft through your shoulders, through your belly, through the rest of your body, lifting, kicking. One more time each side, lifting, opening arms, kicking. Lifting, kicking, placing down. You've done a lot of work on your legs. Kick it out, shake it out. Now, what I'd like you to do is open your arms like so. One arm behind you, the other arm in front of you, and the arms are rounded, your shoulders are down, relaxed. I want you to look back at that back hand, past the back hand, and then gently, like you're swimming in air. That's the metaphor. Push forward, but softly. The other hand coming back, and then softly pushing forward. Open up the arms, pushing forward. Pushing forward. Paying attention, bringing the mind into the body. Soft, relaxed. Cross arms, bring your arms down. Another movement now I'd like to share with you. We call this the crane spreads wings, like so. One arm is up, one arm is down. Notice that my arms are rounded. My shoulders, even though one arm is up, my shoulder is down on that side of the body, okay? And then we're going to switch. See if both arms can move at about the same pace. So, crossing, separating, same pace. Yin yang, upper is yang, lower is yin. So transition up and down arms. Transition up and down, switch. Two more times, one each side. Switching. And switching. Now bring your hands together like so. Relax your shoulders. Soften your belly. Feel your feet firmly planted on the floor. Now bring your arms closer to your torso. Push down softly, like they're floating down. And now push out. Let's do that again. Bringing your arms in. Float them down to about the center of your chest, and then push out, but be soft, like pushing a cloud away. That's a good image to connect with softness. Imagine you're pushing clouds, and you want to be so soft with your push that the boundary of your hands do not permeate the boundary of the cloud. Now that's soft. Coming in, down, You notice I'm not overextending my arms. There's a slight bend in my arms at the very height of the extension. So my arms still have a little bend. There's still a little roundedness to them. We don't want to overdo it. Tai Chi teaches us about life, how we overextend ourselves, how we create tension, and it provides a way for us to move through the tension, soften through the tension. One more. Bring arms in, down, and out. And so from here, open, big circle, cross arms, and bring arms down. Let's do that again. From here, that was the push, the end of the push, big circular arms or oval arms, crossing, separating, and drifting with attention downward. One more time. From here, opening, circular motion downward. Right here, the knees are bent, and now we unbend our knees and return. Okay, thank you. I just compiled recently this series of Tai Chi movements that's designed for an easy introduction on Zoom, okay? So what we're going to do now is we're going to connect all of those movements into one coherent Tai Chi form. When I say the word form, what I mean is a sequence of movements. We call that in Tai Chi a form. We call the individual movements a posture. So this particular form that I've compiled for you is comprised of 9 postures. And now we'll begin with our feet together. So this is a formal way of beginning our Tai Chi practice. Relaxing, focusing, separating your foot shoulder width apart from your other. Raising arms up, bending elbows and knees, lowering the body. Now, wave arms like clouds. Relaxing the shoulders. Slow. Now shift the weight to one leg as you stand up on that one leg and lift the other leg up. Place it down. Standing up on the other leg. Place it down. Crossing your arms. Lifting the leg, other leg. Kicking out. Placing it down. Crossing arms, lifting leg. Kicking out. Open the arms. Pushing forward softly, like swimming in air. Open. Pushing forward softly, like so. crossing the arms, separating the arms, one up, one down, crossing the arms again, one up, one down. Now bringing hands like so together, close to body, lowering down, elbows down, pushing out softly, pushing the soft cloud, opening the arms in a circular fashion, crossing your arms and raising your body, standing tall, separating your arms and lowering your arms. We're going to do that one more time, and then we'll open it up if you have any questions. Feet together. Notice what you've cultivated, first of all, already in your body and mind. And it's okay if there's any confusion. I want to normalize that. The main things to pay attention to at the beginning is pay attention to the body, of course, but also enjoy the movement, enjoy inhabiting your body with awareness. And certainly relax, relax. And now we begin separating your foot, shoulder width apart, raising arms up slowly, bending the elbows and the knees as you lower your body just a bit. Now commencing waving arms like clouds. Notice how my arms change in their up and down orientation, relaxing the shoulders, turning from the waist. And now shift your weight to one leg and stand up on that one leg as you lift the arm, place it down, stand up on the other leg, place it down, cross your arms, lift up your leg and kick out, place it down, lift up the other leg, kick out, place it down, open your arms now, both feet flat on the floor, softly pushing forward, softly, relax the shoulders, softly pushing forward with your left. Now, crossing the arms and separating upper and lower arms, keeping them rounded, nice, keeping your shoulders down, crossing and separating the arms. And now bringing your hands facing one another, your palms, bringing the hands toward your torso, floating downwards slowly, and then pushing out slowly and softly, and now opening up in a circular fashion, bringing your arms in front of you as they cross, and then separate, moving palms close to your torso as they then float downward, paying attention, relaxing. And when the hands reach all the way down, then return your foot back to the other one. that you started with. And so that's a taste of Tai Chi movement. Before we commence with other movements or practice, I'd like to give you the opportunity to ask any questions or maybe even make an observation from your own experience. I'm always happy to hear from people, especially those maybe that this is new for. So feel free to unmute yourself. If you'd like me to go over anything, if anything was confusing to you, I'd be happy to respond and demonstrate to you. So I'll just give you a couple seconds for that, if there's anything. Otherwise, we'll commence with more movement. Let me just check and see. Okay.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi. Just interesting in the differences from yoga. So there's no, but you know, in the yoga movements, you're taught to link everything to the breath in, out, and using the core. And you were specifying softness in the belly and talking about the movement without mention of the breathing.
Yes.
I was just interested in the difference.
Yeah, there are different breathing patterns in Tai Chi and yoga. And we want to also have softness throughout. You know, I'm also a practitioner of yoga and I love yoga practice. When I teach Tai Chi, especially a presentation like this, I try not to give too many details about breath because it can be overwhelmingly complex. But let me just say, there are two ways to breathe in Tai Chi. One is we call Buddhist breathing, also known as belly or diaphragmatic breathing. I like to use this way of breathing when we are practicing Tai Chi in a meditative way, and that is with a soft belly, breathing in, belly expands, for example, this movement. Breathing out, belly contracts. And so the in and out breath are correlated with the movements. For example, this movement actually would be out, and this movement would be in. So each movement has a reference. Now, in a martial arts context, we do what's called Taoist breathing or reverse abdominal breathing, whereby we actually squeeze the breath in and then out goes the belly when we express a martial arts move. So it's a different context. It depends on how you're using it, is the best way I can say it. It's easier to breathe in the diaphragmatic way, as most people are using Tai Chi as a health and wellness exercise. Does that help your question? Or
Yeah,
if you
thank
have
you.
a follow-up?
No, that's fine.
You're welcome. Thank you for the question. Any other questions?
Just me. We started on the same side. Is that always? Do you start? We went on one leg and we did the same thing. Is that normal?
Yeah, for more standardized forms like this, I compiled this form, you know, for a presentation like this, but often, this is my left leg, by the way. It's very common that we begin by separating the left leg from the right, for example, and then bringing the left leg in to the right upon conclusion. It's also common with standardized forms, and I would say mostly standardized forms, to do each leg in an even or symmetrical way.
Thank you.
Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, great. There's so much I could say. You know, I do some forms that are 108 movements. They just would not be appropriate for sharing in a lunch and learn setting like this. You know, any other questions? Be happy to address questions, confusions, or observations to hear from you. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now, perhaps Gray, you can. I don't know if you need to mute anyone. That's fine. I want to demonstrate the idea of what I call unitary body movement. That is connecting with the whole body in your Tai Chi movement. And this is a little more advanced, so we can explore. So I'm just going to show you a Tai Chi push. And I want to show you what I consider to be whole body movement. Notice my whole body is moving, particularly my legs in relationship to my arms. Now, what happens with beginners often, and it's understandable, is that they're going to push and just the arms are moving, and then the body follows. Or the legs start and then the arms follow. So full body movement means, of course, just that. So as a little practice right now, I want to show you how to stand in this stance, we call them. First, I'm going to have my body aside to you, so forgive me. Feet shoulder width apart again. Take a comfortable stride. It doesn't have to be very long with your, let's say your left foot here. If it's your right foot, it's not a problem. And then the back foot, angle the back foot to 45 degrees, okay? So there's space between the legs here. And then this is called bow and arrow stance, when you have about 60 to 70% of the weight on your front leg, and of course, about 30 or 40% on your back leg. And this is how we do a Tai Chi push. When we come back, let the front leg empty out its weight and place it on the back leg. So now the back leg bends. And now when you're pushing forward, the back leg straightens and the front leg bends. So this is an exercise to cultivate the full body connection in movement. Pushing forward, your legs bend, your whole body moves. Some people call this the torso method because notice my arms are riding on my torso. My torso moves, my arms move. Where is the movement initiated from? We might think it's initiated from the legs or feet, but it's actually initiated from the body's center. So imagine this part of your body right beneath your navel is initiating the movement from the center, withdrawing from the center, moving forward, but your feet are very rooted. Let's do that one more time. Withdrawing, relaxing shoulders, not leaning. That's very common in the beginning. Keeping your spine relatively upright, coming forward. And so now, my friends, switch legs for the sake of harmony between those yin and yang legs. We're going to withdraw. And then we're going to push forward, but bending the front leg. The knee never goes past the toes, by the way. That's the way to keep your knee safe. Withdrawing, bending the back leg. Commencing forward, straightening the back leg. Let's do that a couple more times, withdrawing. Going forward. And stay relaxed, even through your legs. There's a place of relaxation there. Withdrawing. Pushing forward. But remember, whole body push. Let's do that one more time. Let's focus on the whole body withdrawing. And now the whole body moving forward with the arms riding on the torso. Thank you. And since we have a few minutes, let's do that Tai Chi compilation again. And then we can also open it up for more questions if you have any. We'll bring our feet together. Now we're more familiar with the movements, so we can be perhaps more connected to the body, to the breath, and enjoy the process. So separating my left foot from my right, if that works for you, and commencing by raising your arms up and lowering your arms. Now wave arms like clouds, one direction, switching up and down arms, the other direction, switching, switching. Shifting the weight now to one leg as we stand up on one leg with arm, place it down, sinking, shifting, lifting the other leg, place it down, cross arms, lift leg, kick out the leg, place it down, stay a little squatted here, cross arms, lift leg, now kick out the leg, place it down softly, open, like swimming in air, pushing forward softly, looking back, pushing forward with the other arm, soft. Now crossing arms, separating arms up and down, crossing arms again, separating the other side up and down, bringing your hands together, close to your body, and then pushing out softly, opening up in a circular way, crossing the arms and opening, lowering, smiling is optional, concluding by placing your left foot back to your right. I give you a Tai Chi salute. Thank you. And I like to, Gray, shift the camera perspective and sit down and chat for perhaps a minute for concluding. Try to be on time with you and your wonderful group. Here we are. Okay.
So, any questions? Unmute yourself or pop them in the chat if you prefer to pop them in the chat. I'm loving I like the thread as you are moving. That was really nice. I've used that for breath, but I think that was a really nice idea with the thread moving on the hands and things.
Yes, yes. We sometimes call that silk reeling in Tai Chi Qigong practice. It's related to what's called silk reeling, like reeling from a cocoon, silk, and we don't want to break the thread, and that helps us with our smoothness of movement. Yes.
It's very nice. Sheila had to leave.
Can I ask one thing?
Oh, yes. Who was that?
Karen, thank you very much. That was great. You talked about practicing with intention. What are you intending?
You know, the older I get, Sheila, the simpler I like the instructions to be, because I think we can get lost in complexity. And really, when I practice Tai Chi, here's what comes to my mind and body. First of all, pay attention to the entire body and the breath, second of all, relax the body as deeply as possible while maintaining proper alignment and structure through the body. And third of all, and I don't say this lightly, enjoy the process of movement.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So there's your practice for the afternoon.
Yeah, the nice thing about Tai Chi, you know, when you start integrating, of course, here I am on my podium. I love Tai Chi, if you can't tell. Once you start integrating these movements, they follow you wherever you are. You know, there's some actual silly YouTube videos of people after 1 week of Tai Chi. It's really a comedic setup. You know, they're washing their dishes in a Tai Chi way. They're putting their clothes away in a Tai Chi way. You start to see how Tai Chi has informed your everyday movements. For me, it would be if I'm reaching for something up high, I'm not overreaching, extending, or creating tension in my shoulders, for example. So those lessons become integrated into your everyday life and also into your relationships, into your relationship to others, and also your own self, how you work with, for example, difficult emotions and certainly stress in general.
That idea I liked very much. I learned that very much from you in terms of that overreaching and the push, because we can tend, particularly in like exercise, it's all, yeah, push as far as you can, but just push this and that whole body movement I really like. Yes. We got loads of people saying how great it was, how relaxed they are. Robert is asking, what style do you follow?
Yes, good question. I have been trained in Chen style and Yang style. More long-term in Yang style, and I teach forms that are traditional and standardized Yang-related styles. So I'm particularly inclined towards the Yang soft flowing movements, but I love Chen for the sort of sense of vigor and energy that it creates. Just different sides of the same coin. Thank you for that question.
Somebody's saying they follow some of these principles in Chi running. So Chi running is based on Tai Chi principles. Any other questions at all? So you can pop them in the chat or unmute yourself if you've got any more questions.
Let me just say this about Chi running. I'm forever grateful to Gray, because I had been away from running for about 30 years when Gray and I were co-teachers in Italy in 2016. And after his Chi running teaching, it totally made sense to me as a Tai Chi practitioner that I could integrate Tai Chi principles into my running. And I've been running ever since with great appreciation, with great joy.
You got some lovely trails in Portugal there.
Yes, yes.
How's best to contact you, Larry?
You can contact me through our website or also through my email, drcammarata@mac.com is fine, if you wish.
I've popped that actually just in the chat. So there's the websites on there, the mindfulnesstravel.com and mindbodywellness.org. And also, just as a little plug for next year, we are co-teaching a retreat in Italy, in Sicily. And this is mindful movement for self-regulation. So this is 29th of May to 4th of June next year. Larry will be teaching there. Linda, his wife, will be teaching there. Some of you may have met Linda on the Lunch and Learns previously and on their sleep workshops. Could you tell us a little bit about that, Larry, about the retreat?
Yes.
You've been looking forward to this.
When I see that photo, you know, I'm just so happy, because this is a place we've been to several times. And first of all, Sicily is the land of my ancestors. It's really so very special. And my wife, Linda, and I have found this wonderful hotel overlooking the Mediterranean within easy walking distance to this very image that you're seeing, which is, believe it or not, an old tuna factory that has been recreated into an idyllic beach destination. And at our retreat in Sicily, which will be held in May of 2022, we will be teaching mindfulness and mindfulness meditation. There will be also an emphasis, since I'm a psychologist, on psychology, how to understand the workings of your mind and how to work with your own mind in a compassionate, present-centered way to create harmony inside and outside within your relationships. Gray will be teaching his curriculum around mindful movement. And we're not going to spend, hours and hours in a classroom. There will be some educational material, structured time, of course, and we will also have time for exploring the Mediterranean, for taking some historical and cultural outings, all within our retreat community of participants. So I hope you might look at that through our website. We love Sicily. We love how we feel in Sicily. And if you click on to the Sicily page of the website that Gray is sharing, you'll see many videos or several videos, I would think, and also photos to give you a flavor of what we're up to there. So thank you so much.
Brilliant. And I've just posted the website now, actually, because I'd posted it into the waiting room. So the website is there, mindfulnesstravels.com. That's the one where we've got our Sicily retreat on. Brilliant. Any more questions before we finish? We've gone over time a little bit, but that was great. Anything else anybody wants to share or ask? No, brilliant. Larry, thank you so much. That was an excellent session. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for everyone also for joining in. There's some really good movements going on there. I was watching everyone. And have a great rest of your day. And I will see you all hopefully very soon. And hopefully Larry will see you all very soon as well. Have a great day. Take care.
Thank you all. Be well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Much appreciation.